Hey guys, welcome back to the Gibson Hustle. To get a bit of structure for this playlist, I've actually made this episode in a PowerPoint presentation. Again, it's like 6 hours of preparation to make like a 3-minute video, but it's what you got to do. It's the hustle of YouTube. Good fun. Without further ado, let's get into it. But bear with me, I've got about 3 or 4 hotkeys going on and I've got to press different buttons to jump the slides. So it might be a bit chaotic, but hopefully we can get through it. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. So here we go. Here's the start of the presentation. Looks pretty. Look at that big guy jumping around. So as you guys know, this is the journey. So we're going to be trying to grow $50,000 into $1 million over a 10-year span. And I want to take you guys on the journey. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I think it's down here somewhere. And there's also a bell. If you can hit the bell as well, it means you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. I'm going to try and publish for every Sunday afternoon. So yeah, hit that bell, guys. Alright, so I've got a couple of pictures in here. I'm going to try and remove the camera so they pop up properly. Look at that. Nailed it. And a little sneak preview. So we're up to 53k so far. Alright, so put this camera back. So the agenda that we're going to be going through, so obviously today is the 25th of the 9th. I'm going to show you the transition from my personal stock picks into the QAV stocks. And this was a big moment for me because I've held these stocks for a few years. They've had their ups and downs, also downs in the recent iron ore downturn, but I'll show you my sells, what I did there. And then I'll show you the buys, and I'll use Sharesight to show you this. I'll give you a quick non-detailed explanation of what QAV is. So I reached out to them and I'm allowed to discuss the methodologies, but we'll discuss this in a disclaimer at the end. And then I'll show you the income that has came in during the period, along with performance and my personal contributions, i.e. owner contribution is what I like to call it. And then we'll go through the quick disclaimers. So every week I have to put a disclaimer in the videos. Each week I'll try and make it a bit interesting, so at the end I'll try and do a different accent. I'm not very good at accents, so I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so jumping into it. So my sells of my personal investments. So these are the investments that I've had for the last few years. And I had to sell these to be able to buy into the QAV methodology. And this is what we have done. So I'll get rid of the camera, jump in there. So as you can see, I had AQZ, BHP, CSL, FMG, Qantas, Woodside. It's a mixed bag of returns. This is all you really need to look at. So we pulled the $54,000 out. We had a capital gain of negative 4%. And you can see the biggest holding was FMG, which had nearly a 10% hit. So that's where that happened. The total return after we got all the dividends, like look at that juicy 20%. Once we got all the dividends out, we ended up with a 10% return. So it's not too bad. It's better than walking away with nothing. And then I had to buy some QAV stocks. So for the QAV methodology and my personal trading plan, what I envisage to do is only buy stocks at a value of $10,000. And I do this to limit the brokerage. So I use ComSec and the trade's $19.95 by memory if you trade up to $10,000. When I was doing $1,000, I was eating away in too much of the returns in brokerage. So I'm just trying to limit it to $10,000 parcels. So I bought 6 stocks again. I bought them all at $10,000 each. Obviously, every time you buy a stock, the next week or two, they instantly go down. But you have to believe in the methodology. So I bought Challenger, I bought COG, which is Consolidated Ops Group, Clearview Wealth, Ive Group, Ingham's Chickens. I already held Ingham's in the last portfolio, but I've just got to top this back up to 10,000. I only bought 6,000 worth of this one. And then I bought Medusa Mining. So we're at a value of $53,000. The market got a hit over the last couple of weeks, as you probably noticed. So we're down at the moment with capital gains of 5.8%, but with the dividends that have came in, we're just down by 3%. So we'll see each week how this does progress and go from there. What is QAV? So I'm only going to give a really brief overview. I'll read out a bit of a blurb from their website, but in my mind, QAV is these two legends. They do a podcast together. So every week a podcast comes out. and you get to listen to the way these guys invest, also how Tony invests, and you get to learn from it. Because if you're anything like myself, investing is a very lonely world, especially with me. My friends don't invest, my family don't. I don't really have colleagues I can talk to about investing. So to find this community was really good for me. I can bounce off ideas. There's a Facebook community, and everyone speaks to each other, and they're all like-minded. They do Perth meetups, Melbourne meetups, etc. So wherever you are in Australia, and yeah, it's a really good community, and it's building, it's growing, and it's getting some momentum. It's been some pretty good returns as well. But I'll show you this. So Tony Kynaston, he's a multi-millionaire professional value investor who lives in Sydney, and thanks to his system that he developed, the average return on his portfolio over the last 20 years has been about 19.5% per annum after tax and costs have been deducted. And then there's Cam. So Cam does the podcast and just pulls the wealth of knowledge that Tony has from his last 20 years of investing, and then makes it entertaining so we can get into it. But he knew nothing about investing before this podcast, but he was Australia's first podcaster. He's made a documentary and has written a few books. He lives in Brisbane. I love this bit. This show is no bullshit, zero hype. Look at the timeless fundamentals of long-term share investing. How to find and buy stocks in good quality companies at a reasonable price. So when they say at a reasonable price, the main driver for this methodology is finding companies that have a low price to operating cash flow. And it's kind of like how Warren Buffett invests as well. So he likes to buy businesses cheap that are pretty much cash powerhouses. So none of this speculative investments and that. But yeah, so QAV stands for quality at value. All right, and the best thing is I reached out to these two legends, and they've given me a link or a promo code, which I'll put in the description down below. So if you want to sign up for an annual subscription or a monthly subscription, you can use my code. But yeah, 20% off a monthly or annual subscription. That's pretty good, legends. Alright, so income and contributions. So each week I'll show you the income that comes in from, say, dividends, if I sell stocks, so maybe capital gains, and then the personal contributions, which again I like to call owner's contribution. So that is to help the portfolio grow, because to get to $1 million is a big hurdle, and can't just rely on the capital gains, compound interest to take over. You also have to put in a little bit. But I'll show you that. It's all part of the journey. So the income that came in was BHP and Woodside. So $157 income hit the bank account. So now that takes our cash balance to $159 in the CDIA. Now, when this hits 10,000, I'll buy another QAV stock, and when that time comes, I'll show you how I do it as well. Disclaimer time. Here we go. This is going to be fun. So, what you witness in this video is my personal investing story and is not to be taken as financial advice. If you wish to invest, please contact a financial professional before making any investment decisions. Neither the Gibson Hustle as a business or myself, Luke, work for the QAV. The views on this video are purely my own for entertainment, and any QAV systems shown are intellectual property of QAV, aka Legends. Most importantly, hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Well, you see I. Stay humble, guys.